Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I'm your host, founder and CEO of Versa Business Systems, Shaheen Mazloom. We're here with a guest today. He's founder and CEO of Ion Networks, Dave Behar. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing awesome. How about you, Shane?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain. So for those out there who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your company does.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ion, we're into diversify. Our portfolio is pretty expansive, but talking about Ion, what do you have your eye on?
I like that.
We're basically a hyper-targeted, hyper-local network of over 25,000 local channels in North America. We have a production company. We have a distribution company, and essentially inviting in content creators to bring their shows, bring their videos as a platform that we were able to distribute and help them monetize. And likewise, brand partnerships. And we broadcast league activities in sports primarily, but our team loves a good red carpet also.
Yeah, very cool. So you said 25,000 local channels?
Yep. So
Wow.
we're scaling over the course of over the past 18 months. So basically a channel for every town. As an example, you have a town like, down the street from you, a town called Baltimore, right? And
Yeah,
so how many towns are in Baltimore and the county? It's
right,
not just Baltimore, it's the
right.
surrounding towns, each with their own personality. Take a place like LA. We happen to be in Hermosa Beach and Manhattan Beach. And it's in the county of LA. We're talking about one of over 150 towns in the metro area, each
Right.
with their own personality,
Yeah.
affluency. Some near the beach, some not. So that's a key part, but it's also those folks that have great shows where they want to distribute to and where the brands want to live and breathe.
Right.
And local is everything. So.
Yeah, definitely. So would a company that's working on more of a national level, would that make sense to go after those local, to go after local, or
Yeah.
is it?
So as you know, everyone's a network today,
Yeah.
and brands are a network, their own networks. They need to distribute their shows, their video, their content. If not, we'll help them get there, of course, in building out a show. But I mean, depending if they have franchises, they want to scale on any kind of licensing level, company-owned operations, let alone just reaching the consumer even again, simply from an e-commerce standpoint, uh, our network enables them to get very hyper specific of
Right.
where they're marketing themselves and immediate scale. And scale is a great, is a great word when you're trying to grow a business. Let
Right.
alone a
Right.
large company, if you're a top 100, Fortune 500 type of company, enables you to reach the consumer and the businesses in each of those towns,
Right.
and then that we serve. And
Absolutely. So with the trying to think what I'm trying to say. So the with streaming now, right?
right,
What kind of shift are you seeing? Like you've had other businesses before this. You've been in branding for a long time.
yeah,
What shifts are you seeing from local channel to streaming? Like is are channels ever going to fizzle out? Do you think, or is that always going to be a need and something that's going to be around? Because I see more and more
yeah.
people going to the streaming
hmm
and getting rid of their Comcast and their local channels.
yeah. So we are talking about the digital environment. We are talking about even OTT over the top with those and where you're watching the stream. Um, so we're also distributed then through Apple TV, Android,
Oh, okay.
Roku,
Right.
that environment, but also digitally, internet and mobile for sure. So channels. We're always channeling. Everyone's got a channel of some sort, and that's a term, right?
Right.
And the term website we've never even used because it's a channel.
Right.
So, and then, it depends on how serious you are about moving products and services and where.
Right. You've got multiple channels.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
now,
it'll ever go away. I mean, I don't think
yeah.
the term will ever go away. It's a way to designate that you have these channels, and then
Right.
it becomes where they are and where to watch them.
Right. Now, other than like location targeting, is there other ways to target where, like, if you say you only want this to be seen in businesses, or you only want it to be
Yeah,
seen by high net worth, in high net worth areas or
sure.
whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So one is the affluency of an area, but it's also might be the affluency or category of business in the industry, or I like to call I industry. So hey, we're routinely in sports, nutrition, health, family, kids, of course, technology, entertainment,
Right.
music. Those are categories. Those are industries, and each has their own ability to target
Right.
based upon the database. So the database is basically the marketplace.
Right.
And if you're trying to reach a certain level of musician or genre of music type of thing, well, there you have it. So we have products and services distribution that tailor to all those things because we're in the business of hyper targeting and
Right.
localization. So and it's
Yeah.
we take it not just about data. Data is so important, but
Yeah.
it's also about what's that experience like and what's the sustainability. So you have a great relationship with that customer, that market, that industry.
Right.
As we like to lead it. So yeah.
Right. That makes sense. So what does your process look like? So as a business comes to you, they say, "Look, we need help with branding. We need to get out there. This is our customer avatar." Walk me through the process of, start to finish. I mean, you have the production company, you can do pretty much everything from A to Z, right?
Yes, correct. I mean, we'd like to, by the way, and there's brilliant content creators, producers around the country and beyond, of
Right.
course. So if there's already one that's existing, we want to help enable them to succeed with, for instance, that brand. Many brands today,
Right.
they've got their crew, they've got that person who's taking care of business for them, even into the post production phase, et cetera, versus just throwing a digital camera into the picture.
Right.
But so the process is we're going to take a look at what they have, and if they
Right.
don't have it, well, then we'll bring it accordingly. Geographically, that may mean that we have to have one of our folks that is remote from our offices because we have full studios and such for production, including podcasting. We do our news, our features, all those things internally. But likewise, we don't do that in every part of the country. Therefore, we get to activate again those great content creators
Right.
in our network. So we're just going to take a look at what they have, and if they don't have it, we'll go ahead and create it. And
Create
so
it. Right.
the background being in branding, personal branding, helps an awful lot because then we can speak their language. And of course, from a marketing standpoint, it's very simple. You can just say marketing 101, and that's who are you trying to reach, and then you go through the conversion methods that are necessary to execute on the plan. Because we're going to want to take a look at that plan a little bit. We don't
Right.
even need to. I mean, we can just open up the distribution method so their existing content can be seen in all these places, let alone the industries.
Yeah.
The industry is an example. We categorize so even all the different leagues that we're involved with, their brand could be an official, brand partner of one of the leagues that we distribute and market.
Interesting.
So
Now, when
we,
when you say leagues, you're talking about like different sports leagues?
yeah, right. So we do cover all the major sports, whatever you want to call the major sports, but professional sports, but also amateur as well as niche sports. I mean,
Right.
just just the other day, well, it's now been a couple of league events of all things, the Night Fighting League, and that's armored combat. And then we
Armored
also,
combat.
that's right, the Knights, the Night. So the Night Fighting League we created to serve that audience, and it's a big audience. They want to see it, but there's a process by which we go through to establish a league. And I've been got quite a background in either developing or being brought in to leagues to create what's next and bring more personality and
Right.
distribution. Um, Same thing with like the arm wrestling, the world of arm wrestling.
Right.
So the Ultimate Arm Wrestling League would be another example. But those are opportunities for companies to, of course, be brand partners with leagues, let alone just target an audience
Right.
digitally, which you want to cut through all those, I'm not going to suggest wasteful spends, but
Right.
and get to the point of who do you want to reach
Yeah.
and where for that matter. So
Yeah. Absolutely. I think social media marketing has gotten so wasteful.
yeah,
So wasteful. Ever since Zuckerberg was in front of what was it, the Supreme Court or whatever,
yeah,
the targeting is just not targeted anymore. It's not. And it's just gotten so expensive, especially around the
right.
election. I mean, we had to stop everything
Well, it's noisy. I
around the
mean,
election. It was crazy.
it's noisy out there,
Yeah,
and it
extremely.
depends on your offer. I mean, it also
Yeah.
depends if you're utilizing funnels and
Yep.
such, because at that point, you are able
Yeah.
to.
What's your deal flow, your traffic, and your conversion? How are you going to convert? That traffic, because if you're not
Yeah,
converting it, the traffic's pointless,
I
right?
mean, really, it's all about messaging and your brand personality, the offer, if
Yeah.
it's compelling to that target audience. I mean, you know this stuff. It's just really a matter of,
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to solve a problem,
yeah, are
right?
you filling a
You got to
void?
solve a problem. You got
Yeah,
to you got to explain to they got to understand why you are the best person to solve that problem for
yeah,
them.
for
It's not about
sure.
the price. It's not about anything else.
Yeah,
The other day I was talking about the last time I was in New Orleans. They had the Super Bowls there. What this weekend. The last time I was in New Orleans, I decided stupidly to get a hotel on Bourbon Street,
yeah.
and
Well, by
till
the way,
6 a.m.
I was just going to
What?
say that I'm over in the conference room and there's a party going on out there,
Nah, no worries. I
and
can't hear
I
it.
didn't know if it was a little noisy or anything. So
Nah, all
good.
good.
Yeah,
So I get this room on Bourbon Street, thinking it'd be cool, but I didn't think about people are outside partying until 6 a.m. So I
yeah,
didn't sleep the first 2 nights we were there. So by the
right.
third night, I'm losing my mind. I'm on no sleep. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah,
I go 2 blocks off of Bourbon Street. I walk in this hotel. They're like, you need to book it online. Boom, 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 book it online. All right, can I check in? I need to sleep. Like, I'm just ready to get into a bed. I just
right,
needed sleep. I didn't care how
right.
much it cost. And they're like, oh, well, you can't check in until this time. I'm like, I'll give you any dollar amount you
Yeah,
want to let me
yeah,
check in right now. Well, it doesn't work that way, sir. Jesus.
right.
So then I go down the street to the Ritz Carlton, book a hook. I said, can I come in right now? Like, yes. Okay. Put it on a
Yeah,
card. Let's go. You'll pay whatever you can possibly afford to have your
right.
problem solved. It doesn't
That's right.
matter what the problem is. If it's a problem, you'll pay whatever it is to have it solved. They just got
Yeah,
to know that you're the one that's going to solve it for them.
right. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to things like targeting and filling. I mean, if you can fill a void, so let's say that Ritz Carlton is an example. They know that some people need to be taken care of at that time, and not the typical, hey, check in at 3,
Right.
come back at 3. We'll see if your room is ready or
Right.
something like that. It's like, it's showtime. They just gotta,
Yeah.
they're ready for you.
Exactly.
They
Charge
see
a
it
little
coming.
bit more, have them come and show up whenever. It's like
Yeah, right.
it's you got to be different nowadays. You know what I mean? Like there's all these gurus on Instagram. They're like, somebody's already done it. Just copy what they did. Like,
Right.
sure, that can get you by, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not going to get you far.
Yeah. I mean, differentiation is everything.
Key, yeah,
It's And I think it's just a matter of if you have that, in your DNA, and if you're committed, and then carrying that differentiation out. And if you have the brand to do it, then you have a business. For
Exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think people, it's funny, the new business owners, they worry about the wrong things too soon, right? So like they're like, "Oh, I got to get my LLC and my logo and my website and this, that, and the other," and they don't even have a customer yet. It's
Right.
like you need to go out and get a customer first. Make sure you've got a business, because if people don't want to buy what you have,
Yeah.
there's no point in having a logo and a website and a brand if nobody wants to do business with your brand,
Yeah,
right?
I think what's important. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I think that it's important that you are showing up wherever with a brand. Your
Yeah.
brand may
Oh,
not
for
be
sure.
finished and
Right.
all you know put together, ready to go, but you need a brand name, so it has at least some level of attraction. And
Yeah.
then again, it depends on the industry, for sure. You know, so
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Now, what would you say are some of the hottest industries right now? Obviously the things are changing tremendously. You've got AI, you've got all these YouTube channels. I mean, somebody approached me about a business today, buying and selling YouTube channels. I'm like, what?
Right.
And there's a ton of money in that. Like, are there
Yeah.
any like new trends that you're seeing in business nowadays?
Well, I think what's so important is to realize what business you're in, what industry you're in, because then that's going to be those innovations, those things that are drivers, are going to be what you'll be looking for. So
Right.
the trends, everyone's talking about AI, but AI has been around for
Yeah.
over a decade, couple
Yeah.
decades, right? Because
Yeah.
it's just become so much a part of our lives already. And
Right.
then, of course, now it's become quite consumerized.
Yeah.
And so now it becomes more about common use and the ability to adopt it for your business, let alone person, even this for the student, of course. And it's like, well, but those trends, it's you that needs a trend. You personally, your personal brand
Yeah.
needs to trend, and that plays a huge role in not only your personal, but your personal and personal wealth, but also your success as a business, because
Right.
that becomes a very important part of, are people going to buy from you because they're going to check
Right.
you out.
Now,
And so trend wise, I mean, of course, then there's always about the innovation part, which
right.
that that opens that opens everything up from what industry are you in.
Yeah.
And so
Now, if you have a company that's on a national level, you've got 20, 30 employees. You may be the face of the business. Like for me, I'm the face of the business, right?
Mhm.
But it's
Right.
very rare that I actually get to talk to customers. I'm busy doing everything else.
Sure.
How important is having the face of the business be someone that's actually talking to the customers, or does it not? As long as there's a presence and a face and I am the personal brand.
Yeah.
Is that what's important, that there is a personal brand and that they feel some kind of personal connection? Or do you recommend that it be someone that's actually going to be speaking with the customers on a customer level?
It's all the above. I mean, first of all, it does start with, again, the brand, starts with the personal brand, the founder, the CEO, the leader, who really ought to be out there, unless that's, the sales crew, whether they be just digitally doing their thing or on the phones, even seeing people in person, which is
Right.
kind of a rarity.
Yeah.
These days, but you might be surprised on how that's what people buy from.
That's what people want now more
That's
than
right.
ever. More
Yeah,
than ever. It's definitely a
and
a
that's the
a big,
differentiator.
yeah.
The
That's the
differentiator
differentiator.
is that human
You're
contact.
willing to go to their
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's also selling one to many, and not necessarily one to one. Even though one to one, I mean, that's the easier way to close.
Yeah.
Often you'll talk about funnels and how you get taken through a process, which is great on a business level, depending on what that industry is.
Yeah.
But differentiator wise, it's who's leading this brigade, and I want to be able to trust the company, also related to that leader, and
Yeah.
the rest of the crew is who's carrying out that message and that vibe and that DNA of the company, and then that, for that matter, the personality. We're going to make sure that remains lined up and
Yeah.
remains in place to do that. But there's nothing like somebody who feels that they can access the founder, they can access the CEO, the
Right.
leader.
It goes a long way.
It
It
really
really
does.
does. Yeah.
Yep. And for
Yeah,
that matter,
100%. No matter how big the company is, like
yeah,
I hate when people get to like a certain level and they're like, "Oh, I'm too
right,
big for that now." It's like,
right,
dude, like,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I don't think I'll ever be like that. It's just
Well, I
it
mean,
doesn't make sense. You got to be accessible.
yeah. And I think that the ideology is there's other ways to make yourself accessible without even you being accessible.
Right. Yeah.
As long as that, again, that customer, whether it be the consumer or a business, it feels like they can
Feels
actually,
appreciated.
yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like they have that contact, whether
Yep.
they're contacting somebody else in your team or not. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
100%, 100%, man. So if people want to learn more about, like obviously you can talk about branding for hours, but if people want to learn more about your take on branding and your teachings, where can we find more information? I know you have a couple books, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've co-authored a couple books, and there's a few more coming.
Awesome.
It's a big body of work, but
Yeah.
it's been nice to contribute in that way.
Great, great. So
But
I'll put the link in the description. That way, people can go grab a copy
yeah,
and learn
they're
some more.
Amazon bestsellers, and it's great to see that people appreciate the voice and the
Yeah,
message and stuff. So
for
yeah,
sure, man.
yeah,
So for those out there that are looking to get more serious with their branding, get more on a local market, but also target more, right? Stop
mhm,
having that wasted marketing spend, which so many platforms have nowadays.
yeah,
What's the best way to reach out to Ion and get that process started?
right. So we've got, again, multiple channels, multiple domains, platforms you can reach us at. I would just throw me an email. There's no
Right.
problem putting that out there. Just Dave at ions.com. Two four-letter words, great four-letter
Perfect.
words, and and give me a shout. Happy to help. But then again, I've got a growing team that would be extremely supportive, and we'll just work through whatever the mission is that you're on, to just, again, help you get there.
That's great, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing like a team. You got to have a team to
yeah,
to get to the end,
yeah.
right?
Well, that's how you
Um,
win.
yeah,
It's all about collaboration, and
for
that's
sure.
one of my favorite Ion words, of course.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. You sure say I intelligence?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Love that.
Yeah. Well,
The only thing I've got is versatile.
well, I
Not
think
much
that
more I can do with
that's
that.
a great name. I think you
Yeah,
got to be versatile, be flexible. I'm
exactly.
sure, and that then ends up coming out when you're talking about either that sales pitch
Yep.
or your workflow when you're taking care of that customer and
Yeah.
in their life, in the business. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure, man.
cool.
I
Well, good.
appreciate you hopping on with us today,
Oh,
Dave. It sounds
anytime.
like you got a party to get to.
Yeah, yeah. My pleasure. It's been fun, Shaheen. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
We'll catch up soon. Hopefully, sometime early next week, and see what we can do more together.
you got it. We'll do it again.
All
Take
right.
care.
Thanks, Dave.